What is going on? What is going on? Thank y'all so much for tuning to another episode of Beyond the Hustle. I am your MC, Daniel Tadamy, and join with me, just like every single podcast, serial entrepreneur himself, Mr. Paul Rene Jr. What is going on, Paul? What is going on, bro?
What's up, Daniel? It is I, Paul
Yes,
Rene,
sir.
your
Yes,
tax
sir.
guy.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
we've been
sir.
staying busy. It's that season to be giving
Yeah,
people
yeah.
that reason to file their taxes on time and in compliance. Don't forget to hit us up. But yes, joining me, what makes the better half is my bro Daniel Tadamy, man, who
Mm-hmm.
puts this all together and the skills with all the technology stuff and buttons. I didn't even know how to tag my profile on this, but I
You
tried,
didn't?
man. So nah, man, I tried.
I
What's
tagged you.
going on with you, bro?
I tagged you in when I shared it to my page. I tagged you in that one. So if y'all don't know, man,
Okay.
we are actually live on Beyond the Hustle's Facebook page, and we're live on Beyond the Hustle's YouTube. So make sure y'all reach out or connect with us on those two places. I was going live on my personal Daniel Academy page, but we're gonna move everything over to Beyond the Hustle now, and let it stand on its own, man. This is episode 17, Paul. The
Yeah,
big
we're
one
moving on
seven,
up.
bro. Yeah,
We're
yeah,
moving it
yeah,
up. We get to stream this live on our page, man.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah,
what's next?
yeah,
Stay tuned and see what's going
yeah,
on. But
yeah.
what's been developing over the week that we've been taking a vacation, man? And
Yeah,
speaking
man.
of speaking of vacation, some more planes went down, right? And
Oh,
technical
dang.
difficulties occurred. So I think I'm gonna be
Yeah.
waiting until about like after the summer before I jump on another plane to go anywhere, because it's still a little bit shaky out there, man.
It's raining
Um,
planes, and that's crazy, actually.
it is, but one of my big homies put it in a good put it in light for me and what's going on and what has been going on over the course of history is how sometimes people create the problems so they can always create the solution, right? And what happens when they create the solution? Something gets taken away along with that solution. What's the
Yeah.
cost of it? The majority of the time is freedom, right?
Some freedoms
So,
being taken away.
oh man, it happens over and over again where, um, a problem gets created and miraculously here comes the solution. And in order for you to accept the solution, you're gonna have people willingly give
Yeah.
away their freedom just for that security, basically. That sense of security.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, who
What
knows, man? Who
what
knows?
made
That's the tinfoil hat in me. All right, I'm
yeah.
not gonna go on a rant about it, but yeah, that's how I go down
It's
sometimes.
funny. I was just watching Iron Man 3, and in Iron Man 3 they had this terrorist called the Mandarin, and he wasn't really so like every time like these explosions would happen, these bombings would take place, was what would happen throughout you know the country. The Mandarin would
Mm,
post a video talking about some, oh, this is a lesson I'm teaching the president, right? And come to find out, the bombings weren't really bombings. They were like experiments that the scientist was doing on these people. And whenever the experiment would go wrong, the person that he injected with like this superhero serum would explode. And he just created this terrorist called the Mandarin who would just take responsibility for the bombings, but they were really just failed experiments. And what he was doing was creating the problem, which was these bombings by this terrorist, and he was going to introduce the solution, being these super soldiers. So he was creating a problem and providing the solution at the same time. So he was double dipping. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Profiteering off of
Well,
war.
they got it from somewhere. That script
Yeah,
was written somewhere in the
yeah,
course of history, and it seems like history doesn't fail to do one thing, and that's to repeat itself, right? So you got to keep your eyes open, man. You got to keep your eyes open.
yeah,
And I wouldn't have realized it until a big homie. I got a couple of big homies that wear the tinfoil hat on too, and very experienced. And and they brought it to my attention, sent me links to look at, and it was kind of like, oh man, why didn't I see that?
I did not see that.
but I don't know everything. I don't
Dude,
know everything.
speaking of links, I told you before we started that we got some comments on one of our posts. And I wanted to talk about, or I wanted to like address some of the comments, because I don't mind commenting and replying to people on social
Yeah,
media. Dude, I just sometimes like I'll comment or reply like here and there, but I don't.
yeah,
Most of the time, I have to like really be on my phone and like engage on my phone, because a lot of times I'll post throughout the day, but that's like post time. I don't have time. I'm not like sitting at my phone commenting. Like, dude, I don't. Maybe I'll comment to a couple people. Most of the time, I have time to sit on my phone is at night, and then I'm chilling and I'm watching my shows. I'm not commenting on social media, but I
I
did
like
want to
it.
address some comments, bro.
I like
Yeah,
talk, especially if it's a talking point where I feel
yeah,
like you know, I just can't stay away from it. I have to
yeah,
voice my opinion. I go ahead and go at it, man, and I do it respectfully. I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings
yeah,
or
yeah,
you know get under people's skin. But man, I'm a natural educator. That's what we are as men. We
yeah.
educate, man. We like to teach stuff, man, from our children to the women we're dealing with.
Right,
And I don't mind
right.
educating people or giving them my opinion. And then I might be wrong. That's how we
Yeah,
learn too,
yeah,
right? Is
yeah,
you might correct me and teach me something, and how are
yeah.
we gonna do that if we don't say anything and engage with people? You might learn
That's
something
true.
from me. I might learn something from you, and at the same time, we're gonna get stronger. It doesn't mean I'm against you. It just means we gotta let's talk about it. That's all.
And but see, in that, I think a lot of times people will hold back a lot of times their opinions of what they have to say, because due to like the fear of being rejected or the fear of being combated, against, they don't want to be attacked. In order to be a person who shares their opinion or to be opinionated, bro, it takes a lot of courage and strength just in itself, because majority of people will not, just speak up. But I did want to read one of these. Here, let me grab this. Hold on.
While you grabbing it,
Yeah.
um, I don't know. I think that's a good T-shirt right there. We probably should get into the game or talk to Hansei or something. See what he could come up with. But
Get a
that sounds like a
t-shirt.
T-shirt right there, man. Yeah, man, because it seems like everybody's waking up to it, and it's like death to cancel culture. He should come up with a T-shirt with that death to cancel
Dude,
culture, right?
dude.
And everybody
Yeah.
should just be able to voice their opinions.
Yeah. Sharing their opinions.
Voice your
Um,
opinions, man. Yeah.
so we did it just to give you guys like uh kind of like a back, right? If you didn't know. So I posted this. We talked about Elon Musk and what he's doing right now on, with Doge, right? Department of Government Efficiency. And a lot of people, man,
Elon.
and
Elon
one thing
Musk.
that surprises me with that whole entire Doge thing, the one thing that surprises me with all of that is majority of people, from what I could see, right, just in my like anecdotal, my small like experiment with people around me or people that I watch and I follow, majority of the people are with it. They agree with it, right? They like what he's doing. Now, is it going to be like do I think it's like 100% transparency? I don't believe that at all. I don't think it should be 100% transparency, because at the same time that we're looking at this, other countries are looking at this as well. And come on now,
Mm.
it just won't make sense to tell. Bad enough there's spies everywhere, right? So you don't
Yeah.
want, like, come on, bro. Like, how transparent do you want your government to really be when you're talking about secrets and things of that nature? So I mean,
Yeah,
but I
but
get
that's
it.
not like classified information though. That's
Is
different.
it? Is it?
That's
It's
not
bad enough.
classified information.
Are
Budgets.
are okay. So would you want your competing company to know the inner working of your finances?
Well, look, competing company and country is different because majority of the money was going to different countries, so they know what is going on. They know what is going on. This is money that's being spent all over the world. Um, so it's no secret if it's going out there and being spent to different countries. But what's the point that you're gonna get off of it though? I know you were gonna elaborate on the point. I don't want to rant
No,
though, but I
nah.
don't think that.
I, well, because what I was gonna say was okay. So even if you're saying that the money is going to a certain government or to a certain country, and for whatever reason, is
Yeah.
that the real reason? Probably not. Right?
No,
Maybe
no,
it
no.
could be. It could be the real reason. We don't. I don't know. I'm just
It's
saying.
definitely
Right?
not,
We just
man.
right.
Did you see some of the things
So
that the budget was being
I
spent on?
I did.
Come
I
on,
did
man.
see a lot of the foolishness that it was being spent on. So but I'll digress from that point. But I'll say a lot of people do agree, right, with what he's doing. Um and then there's a lot of people that don't. And for the people that don't, I'm not gonna I understand why they don't agree with it, right?
I don't.
But you don't understand why? Dude, a
Why?
lot of
Why?
people,
Tell
dude,
me why.
a lot of people. Oh, for number one,
Explain.
fear, bro. I think fear and trust, right? So if you did not vote for this administration, you're already not going to trust this administration. If you, excuse me, if you did vote for this
Okay.
administration, you're going to inherit trust, right? So I get it, and
I see.
so people
I
don't
get
want
that. Yeah. You
Elon
make
to
a
have
good
their
point there.
information, right? People don't want Elon to have their information because they're afraid of what he's going to do with it. I am under the notion when it comes to my identity that the government already
Hmm.
has it, for number one. Number two, nobody's looking for you. They're not checking for me. So I don't care on the second point, right? Because second tier, I don't care because
If they
no
are, they
one's
found
checking
you,
for me.
man, because
Yeah,
we out here we
dude,
on the hustle right now.
you have a social media, you have a bank account, you have an email address. They already got you. Like, come on, bro. Your identity, okay, identity thieves may be the only one that you need to secure your identity from. The government, they already got you. If they want you, they come get you. They put you in a black bag in an unmarked van, and you're gone. I mean, but come on, you ain't doing nothing. Nobody looking for you, right?
Mhm.
That's just the way I look at it. And then thirdly, a lot of people are like Elon. He can't be trusted, and that he's gonna do shady things with the money. And then it's just like if and he's not a smart person. Like that, I'm gonna read. So let me get into some comments because somebody was just like
Okay.
he's not smart. He's not a smart business person. And this is the way my
Seriously.
response to that. My response to that: if anyone is able to, generate as much money as he's been able to generate, I understand people like you can inherit. You don't have to be smart to get money. Okay, I'll follow you that you have to have some type of genius in order to retain that type of money. You can't be you're
Let me
not a
guess.
complete
Kamala
idiot.
Kamala Harris was a better businessman. Kamala Harris was a better businesswoman than Elon Musk. With
Man,
after the campaign being in the negative with her budget,
being in the
while this
debt.
man has thriving businesses. Come on now. But you're right though. It's the winners versus the losers, and the
Yeah,
losers are gonna hate against
right, right, and that's just the way that I look at it, right? Um, so okay, so K Fitz, he said, if they genuinely wanted to save money, why not go straight to the department that gets the most money and has never passed an audit before? Y'all focused on 350 million when that's not even 1%. So I agree with what he's saying, right? That's 350 million to whatever they're missing. I think the whole point of this is based off of how much was spent. I think it's like, was it however many trillions were spent? 1.9 or 1.6 trillion was unaccounted for, right? So the whole thing is how do you just unaccount for over $1 trillion, right? So you got to account for that, and the way you do that is you go through and you trace the spending, but you don't just miss 1 point whatever trillion that was stolen or taken or misplaced somewhere. Like you don't just unaccount for that.
it.
Um, Okay, so Ricky was
That's
like,
trillions of dollars, man. That's trillions of dollars, and it's adding up. That's all. So I'm
it's
not
adding
understanding
up.
that. I'm not understanding that statement. Like, why don't you go after the biggest? Why don't we go after all of it so that it can add
Right,
up to the trillions of dollars? That's missing, and that's what you do when you're operating a successful business, right? You do
right.
proper accounting, you do proper auditing of what's going on, so that you can predict how you want to spend that money in the near future. That's five. Oh, what? How much was it? Yeah, you the guy in the politics era, man. You know, while all that politics and all the stories are going on, I'm busy. I'm too busy, man, to be even focused on it. But how much money did they say was being mishandled, misspent, and had gone missing? What did you say?
I think it's like it was like one
So
point
I
one
can
point
make
six
my.
trillion, 1.6.
That's a lot of
So,
billions,
man,
right?
dude, yes, and
That's a
you're
lot of
you're
billions.
you're in you're in you're in finance, right? When you're talking about a budget or money gone missing, it's never the lump, right? If you're missing $1 trillion, you're never going to find $1 trillion whole sitting. It's spread out.
Right.
So by saying you're focused on the 350 million, well, yes, that's part of the total sum. We're not gonna when you do your monthly budget and whatever you have, it's never like, oh, the money's gone. It's always $5 here, $10 eating here,
Correct.
gas here, a piece of bubble gum here. It's those small things that add up. So yes, we're going to be worried about the 350 million, right? And where it's gone. That makes entirely no sense at all, right? Um, so did I read what Ricky said? No, I didn't read what Ricky said. He said, yeah, there are standards to audits to guarantee impartial, impartial, whatever, being impartial. Running code, then posting unverified data to the public is not an audit. So basically, what
Didn't
they're
they?
doing is not an audit because you want to
How does
remain
he know that it's
impartial.
not an audit? How
That's
does
a
he
good
know it's
question.
not an audit?
That's a good question.
If they're putting out the information that people can check to see if they're telling the truth or not. I mean, that's the reason why they're putting out. They're being fully transparent so people can see if
Yeah.
it's true or not. That's an audit, bro. Is knowing where the numbers where the numbers are, man. Um, you know, my thing is what I think is happening, and I don't know. I'm not the one who wrote them checks to all these
Yeah.
governments in
Yeah.
different countries, and but I think there's just people who's pocketing money. USAID wrote checks to countries to a certain person
Mm-hmm.
who received it, took it, wrote checks back to
Yeah.
another person. Right?
Yeah.
It's a way of laundering money that the taxpayers basically donated to the USAID and all the other government agencies that's out there that's mishandling funds. They're
Mm-hmm.
doing that, and that's why they're getting upset. Is because the checks are being stopped. People are actually calling them on their BS, and look, any successful business person wants to know what my money is doing.
Mm-hmm.
Where am I spending my money? And then now, if you have two of the top business people in the country operating the country, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to want to know where the money's going in
Where
so
that
they can
money's
find a
going.
solution and use the money appropriately and give it
Right.
back to the taxpayers or use it for the infrastructure that needs to be upgraded so that we can compete with the rest of the world. America's looking like a third world country right now. What happens in third world
Yeah, bro.
countries? Man, taxpayers pay the government, they comply, and the
Mm-hmm.
people in the government take it and pocket it and live in mansions. That's what's happening right now, and they don't do anything to the infrastructure of the country. There's potholes in the on the road. Bridges need to be upgraded. Um, Buildings still look like they're back in the 1800s.
Facts, bro.
While the rest of the world, you got people in Dubai, flying policemen flying on drones and things like that, right? And what's going on here? Um, yeah, we need that money. We need that money to
We
be
need it.
used for our country properly, man. So we can, um, become one of the leading uh, factors of the world again. Now, is that the motive? I don't know. I don't know if that's the motive.
That's
I don't know if that's the
yes.
reason behind it. It
Yeah.
sounds like it makes sense, right, when you look
Mm-hmm.
at it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But is that really the motive? Another one of my big homies made a comment too about, hey, are they really doing this so that they can track, so they can have a reason for them to implement the digital currency, right? Digital currency now, if they implement it, now they can track the government spending, right? And then still
Yeah.
throw it upon the people. So big homie, Boss Hog mentioned that in the comment. So I wanted to say that. What do you think about that? Do you think that I think that's a possibility now. My
So
big homie, I know, my big homie Boss Hog. He's hardly ever wrong with um, what goes on under that tinfoil hat. He's been around governments for a while and seen some shit. Taught me. I've learned from him a lot too, as well. And I'm not saying he knows everything or whatever, but I like when people could come on and articulate things that make sense, and that makes sense because
that makes
that is
sense.
an agenda that I've known even ever since a little kid. Yeah, that the digital currency thing was going to be pushed, and we see that going on now, um, today, where you can use your cell phone to buy stuff now, right? You don't need cash, and that's what
You don't.
they want to move to, is that cashless society, because cash is still king, and they want it to be off with the king's head so that they can
Mm-hmm.
be able to track where money's going is. So if they're going to be doing that in the government level, imagine now when that trickles down to the average person, they're going to want to be able to track the spending of the average person too.
See,
So
I think that with so, and I did see something. I don't know. I didn't research this. That Trump was saying that the penny doesn't have a use case, and they want to take that out of circulation. So, um, I don't know, man. Like,
yeah,
I, I, I'm cashless for the most. Excuse me, for the most part, anyways. Like, I tap to pay a lot. Like my cell phone, the state of Florida, we have not okayed,
I love it.
putting
I ain't gonna
your
lie, I loved it.
dude. Once Florida, gets on like you know gets their crap together, and they allow me to use my phone as like my wallet to hold my driver's license, I will not carry a wallet ever again. The most I'll probably use my wallet for is, well, my insurance cards for my insurance are
But
in
why are you
my
saying Florida? Are other states allowing
Oh
that?
yes, other states do it. Other states, when you go to your Apple Wallet and you go to add a card, you can add your driver's license. Other states are on the list, and the list is growing because I watch it. Oh, I monitor that list because I'm like, bro, once Florida gets their stuff together and they let us do that, dude, I'm uploading my driver's license in there, and I will never. You could do transit cards for like trains, and you could do yeah, bro, Arizona, California, Colorado, Georgia, Hawaii, Iowa, Maryland, New Mexico, Ohio, and Puerto Rico. You could put your driver's license in your Apple Wallet. If you guys didn't know that, do it.
That's
And
outstanding.
once Florida okays that, bro, I will not carry a wallet, bro. I don't like a wallet anyways. And when I go to places, I'm like, yo,
Yeah,
you guys do tap.
sounds like the market of sounds like the mark of the beast, and the phone
See, and
is
I
that
have
mark,
a,
and Mr.
I,
Elon Musk could be that antichrist, huh?
I have a theory. I have a theory on that when it comes to, well, not a theory. When it comes to the mark and the Antichrist, you know, Scripture is very uh, thorough when it comes to describing that. So, Bush was supposed to be the Antichrist. If you remember that, Obama was supposed to be the
Yeah,
Antichrist. Trump was supposed to be the Antichrist his first term. I guess it didn't take, and maybe he may do it his second term. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So
it could be
like,
anyone. I think that book is just a
yeah,
good history book, and again, history is repeating itself, and it tells how history has been played, and for us to be able to expect it because it's happened already. It's happened
Because it's
before.
happened.
Yeah, anyone could be the
Dude,
antichrist, but you gotta keep your eyes open for the guy who wants to put implant chips in people's brain. That's just come on now. That's
yo,
just
so
a
now
little
now I
bit
did
too.
now I did hear about that, and I did watch his interview that he did. He did an interview. I forget who he was sitting down talking to, but they were talking about the way that they were going to give a man back his give him a man's sight, and then the dude was paralyzed. Someone was paralyzed, and they was going to allow him to be able to feel, but they was doing them chips and implanting that in the guy's head
Yeah.
to get him to do certain things. Now, in theory, it sounds great. I think that gets dangerous, but I understand the human desire and drive, to want to do more. I mean, I get it. The one thing that man can't recreate is the soul, which is consciousness. So like, you can create these AIs. I think we talked about it before, bro. Like we're
We
going to
have, we have.
we're traveling down the same conversation, which is crazy.
Man, I like these conversations. You know me.
Yeah,
But yeah.
but you can use AI, you can use computers and things of that nature, and you can say, okay, yeah, this computer is conscious of itself, or this AI is conscious of itself, which
Correct.
I don't know, because
You might not agree with it, but some cultures do agree with robots and technology, cars, all that stuff is an extension of the soul. So then it is a soul. Do I agree with it to an extent? Because when I jump on my motorcycle, I'm
there,
like,
bro.
yeah, baby, let's go, baby. You ready to take me on this ride? It's like we got that connection, right? In the
But
car
the
too,
motorcycle
I can
doesn't
feel
know.
her when she need oil. I know, but I'm just giving you
No, I got you.
I'm just giving you an example, right? It's not like it knows, but yeah, I get that, but a level of consciousness that's different than the human experience.
The vehicle.
Yeah, it is. It's an extension of. To me, it's like an extension of the human consciousness to that technology, that level of technology. I'm the type of guy that thinks that technology and our human species fall hand in hand. But does that mean to the point where I think we should start, having it embedded in our body and our brains and stuff? I think that's taking it a little bit too far. But
Yeah.
if to each his own on that point, but I do think that a futuristic society that's probably going to be the norm. And if there was any type of uh, I should say extraterrestrial force out there, if we're not the most intelligent species in the universe, and there's other species that's much more intelligent than us, then it has to do with technology as well. They have higher and much more advanced technology than we have, for there to be some type of outside force of whatever you call it, any type of aliens or people from another planet. Their technology is way, way more advanced than ours. So I think technology has to do with the universal experience that we're all, experiencing right now.
Nah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So we spoke a little bit offline. I wanted to talk to you about when it comes to, just to kind of shift gears, right? So when it comes to business, right, and being in business, I hear a lot of people, and I used to struggle with it too. And at times, I'm not gonna say I used to. At times, I still do struggle with it. Asking for that sale, and I pose that to you because you're not afraid to ask for that sale, Paul. When it comes to selling, when it comes to being on that chase, that grind, or whatever, that hustle. And I don't like to use those terms to describe it, right? Because it's just being a business professional. It's being a quality business professional. and you embody that, So I wanted to see your, thoughts, to kind of just pose that out there, man. It's asking for the sale, man. People struggle with that, bro.
It's called the
What do you
closing,
say to that?
right? The closing that sale, man.
Uh,
Sales important. Shoot, what's the number one rule of business? Is to make income, right? And
mm-hmm,
income
mm-hmm.
comes, um, you know, expansion,
Make money.
right? You get the scale. It comes
Yeah.
innovation with your business that you're operating. That's what businesses need. They need that revenue generation, and that's what sales does. So every business out there, man, has that sales team. They have that sales department. No matter you look at any business, and it could be just even a sole proprietorship or small business, and that owner of the business is the salesman, right? And people want to buy based off how they sell themselves. With that income, sales allows you to have acquisition, retention. It allows you to last for the long term with your existing customers, and it allows you to generate new customers. Um, it allows you to educate people of what you're bringing to the table too, right? It gives you that competitive advantage and highlights your value for what your company is worth. Okay, sales is very important. And again, like you said, scalability, business growth. It allows you to transition your old material to new products. So it's very important for you to be able to hire new employees,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and scale business for long-term success. Uh, the closing is very important, man. It's the that's the bread and butter, man. It's the closing in real estate. That it doesn't matter until you get to the closing and you finish and you get that check, right? Nothing matters until closing. I know people get happy because they're like, yeah, I sold a house today in the real estate game directly. I sold a house today, and they're already planning how they're gonna spend that money, right?
Right.
Um, but then things happen and it never hits the closing table. That closing is important. Um, how do you close though? How do you get it to the closing table through your sales? I like to use uh, the assumptive close. Okay, that's what it's called. An assumptive close, to where it's where I'm very direct, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
make the assumption that they're ready to buy the product or buy the house or whatever the case might be. And this is how I teach it. You know, would you like for me to proceed? Right? It is like a how would you like to pay? Right? That's
Mm-hmm.
my way of closing. That's my number one. Um, Go ahead and use it if you want to. But so after I'm finished, calculating everything for them and providing that service. Okay, so here's what it is. My fee is $1 million. How would you like to pay? I take Zelle. I take Cash App, Venmo. I could take that 1 million in payments.
Yeah.
All right.
We can do
So it's
installments.
already assuming that they're ready to close the deal, right? So you're making
Right.
that decision for them. Sales is a psychological thing that it requires for you to be taught. I have taught myself through uh, YouTube University. I graduated with a PhD to YouTube University. Watched some of the greatest salespeople online, from Zig
Yeah.
Ziglar to I listened to some Grant Cardone, to you name it. There's numbers of people out there that help with the sell. My
Right.
go-to is the assumption of them thinking that they're already ready to buy, and so I
Mm.
make it easier for them and tell them, all right, since you're ready, here you go. How would you like to
Here you
pay
go.
for it? And then
Assuming the
listen,
sale.
and then
Uh,
listen.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. What about like
I assume it's already there.
and as
Go
far
ahead.
as I silence, because a lot of people sometimes will try to feel silence, feel like dead air space, You know, is silence good when we're talking about like sales and
Mhm.
things like that? Do you let the
It
silence
is.
sit?
Of course, yes, it is. You want to listen to what they got to say. You want to let them know the ball's on their court, and you don't. You keep it simple. That's the acronym, right? The KISS acronym. You just keep it simple,
Yeah.
man, and you let them. You know, you've already said what you had to say, and so how would you like to pay? You assume they're ready, because you're gonna keep. There, a lot. I've seen a lot of people just keep rambling and rambling, and okay, I can do this and this, and I can do that. I can do this for you, and then if you want to, no, you want to keep it short and simple. Here's how much it costs. How would you want to pay me,
Mm.
right? Now, um, there's other techniques though involved too, right? If you see people are hesitant, you could use discounts, right? I use the discount, or like the urgency of letting them know this is just for a limited time. What I do for you is take 10% off, but you're gonna have to buy today, or it's only gonna last for this month. Okay, so you got to make that option. Especially if there's time. Uh, let me retract though too. Sales is a numbers game. Closing is a numbers game. You don't only want to rely on one person for your income generation. You want to have a whole bunch of people in line, okay, and then it becomes a numbers game. These techniques though just help increase the probability of you being able to close if you use the
Mm.
psychological factor of it.
Yeah.
But you don't have to be a genius in closing. All you really need to do is put the numbers on the table, and then out of 10 you're going to get one, and that's cool. So get 20 so you can get two. All
So you
right,
can get
get
to.
30 so you can get three. The more you do it,
Yeah.
now, the percentage ends up being higher because your level of confidence, okay, that's the best factor that comes onto the closing table, is your level of confidence and your expertise at it, right? The only way you're going to get that is through multiple trial and errors, multiple objections, and learning how to deal with
Mm.
these objections. Okay, so it's a numbers game. It's not something that happens straight up on the first time, or the first trial time. You have to keep doing it, keep failing, keep get the psychological part, a factor part down pat. And so these techniques that I use are based off of thousands and thousands of interactions with people, and bringing them to the closing table, and me being the one okay, here's what I could do, and then jabbing when I should have been direct, okay, and said,
Mm.
okay, how would you like to pay? Cut through the BS, all right, because one of the greatest tools you can use are your ears, man. Listen to what they have to say. So now, if they have an objection, you can use a question clause, a close to it, right? Um, if they object,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's too much, right? Now you can use there's so many different facts. I think that's too much money. I don't have enough money for that. Or, um, okay, then I'd come back and say, okay, well, if I gave you this discount, right? Or if I can give you and provide you this service that meets your budget, would you be ready? You know, so these are the things
Mm.
that help with the closing process. Now you can always use that sense of urgency too, or that takeaway. Like, look, I understand the time isn't right for you right now, okay, but I would hate for you to miss this opportunity. I would hate for this. I would hate for this house to be sold, man. Because as you can see, people are buying up homes left and right, and this one is the one that fits what all your needs. It checks all the checks on your checklist, right? Um, I would hate for you to I would hate for you to lose this opportunity. So I put that sense of urgency in there. Um, and of course, I would list a summary of the benefits or the situation. If it's me selling a product, the benefits of the product that I have, right? I would list the benefits,
Mm-hmm.
go down A and Z. Uh, you know, hey, doing it this way is gonna help you um, reduce your tax liability. It's going to help you um, be able to track all your expenses. It's going to be able to let you see how your financial performance is, so you could predict, how things are going to look like in the future, right? It's going to, if you allow me to audit what's going on, you're going to be able to predict how you want to use that money. I just found I could find $5 trillion of wasteful money that you're doing. You could predict how you want to use that $5 trillion in the future. So
What you
with
want to
that
use it
being
on?
said, are you ready to move
Yeah,
forward? Yeah,
yeah,
are you ready to move
yeah.
forward and use my services? Okay, so these are those are some valuable closing techniques that you use
Yeah,
that you're getting from me. And if you want to learn more and want to learn more in depth about closing techniques, about sales, hit me up, man. You know how to reach me. I'm all over on
definitely,
social
man.
media.
Y'all
We're
gotta
here
hit
on
him up.
Beyond the Hustle. Sign up for a session, okay? And we'll talk about it, because I also have to. You also have to cater each closing, or sales technique to whatever product or service that you are
Hmm.
selling. I do it all the time. I love helping my small business owners, grow their business, and I teach them things that they can do to help catapult their business, and sales techniques and
Helping
marketing
closing.
techniques. Um,
And I
oh yeah,
and it
most
sounds like a
definitely.
lot of it, and just listen to you talk, it sounds like a lot of it is just gonna be tailored, through trial and error to that specific person. But what you can learn are tactics, how to listen, tactics with closing, and then how they fit your specific industry. Well, that's going to come with you applying these tactics that way and growing in confidence. But it's things that you can always do to help, man. And I will definitely say, and just talking to you and being able to, build a friendship in the past few years, dude, you've helped me out with a lot.
I appreciate that,
Growing
man.
my confidence
Appreciate
in
that.
selling and closing. And you do my taxes too, Paul. And it's tax season. So make sure y'all hit him up for
it
taxes too, man.
it definitely is. Yes, yes.
Um,
I'm here to serve the nation, man. I am the nation's
yeah,
tax expert, man.
yeah.
I got to the point. We've been doing this for 15 years, man. Got to the point where I feel like all I need is I can do taxes on just paper. I don't need a software or anything like that. It's like, for the first several years, I was dreaming about taxes, man. I'd wake up and see tax forms and numbers, and it was kind of like a horror flick, because these numbers are coming at you and jumping over everywhere, and then I'm waking up in cold sweats, because it's becoming embedded and becoming part of me, man. And one of the main things that you want to do, um, especially moving forward, guys, America, pay attention, is to make sure you start your own business. All right. I'm gonna say it again, America. In order to reap the benefits of the tax laws, you should start your own business. The hobbies that you have, the things that you're doing on the side, start it as your own business. Get it started as your own business, because that's what the tax laws cater to. They cater entrepreneurs. Okay. Real estate is one of the best investment vehicles that help with tax breaks and benefits, but entrepreneurs are the ones who benefit the tax laws. All right, so get it started. Whether you're into gaming, right? You have expenses on there. You can make money off of gaming. Make that your business. Whether it's podcasts, make that your business, or incorporate it as part of your business. But that's the best thing you can do, is start your own business nowadays. Because if you're just a W-2 employee, you're not going to get any type of credits or deductions, only except for the personal itemized deductions, such as like your medical expenses, your home property tax, and donations. But if they don't meet those standard deductions, it's not really going to help. Okay, depending on how your filing status is, whether you're single, married filing jointly, or head of household, if all those personal expenses don't meet the standard deduction, it's really not going to help. All right, and now with what's going on in the world, AI has taken over everything. So you got to get
Yeah.
into some type of industry
Yeah.
where you can take care of yourself, because I'm hearing across the board a lot of layoffs are happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
People are losing their jobs because businesses are converting from the actual person to software and AI taking over that industry that they're in. So um, they're losing out. So if you, a lot of these there's businesses out there that you can start on your own, and there's companies out there that um, help you catapult into uh, business owners. Okay, so you can find them. We can have that conversation, and I can lead you into that right direction that fits you, because you should always try to find that business that fits your genius too as well.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
fits your purpose, fits your genius, gets you driving, so that it even though it is work, it doesn't really feel like work, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to do it, and you want to get exhausted from it, right? It's like that basketball player that wants to, um, shoot jump shots after the game, right?
Yep.
Even though they won the game or they lost the game, they're still in the gym shooting jump shots, or they're still doing some workouts right after their game. It's just something that they're getting tired too, they're exhausted too, but they want to do it. All right, so find something along that lines. If you need some guidance, if you need some help, I'm here to help guide you through that path. Daniel, I spend a lot of times helping people realize what kind of genius that they have,
Yeah.
right? That
Yeah.
fits in line, that they can, in line with them, that they can start a business off of. I didn't know I had that skill and technique until several years ago. Where I just matured to being able to listen to people and what's going on in their life. And I'm like, man, you should do that. You should go ahead and incorporate that and start a business off of that. Start doing it for free for people, right?
Yeah.
Get a word of mouth out there,
Yeah.
and then start generate. You'll be generating income after a while, and you'll be able to reap some tax benefits from it.
Dude,
And then
a
once you
lot
get
of
that income, holler at me. You can invest. I'll teach you what
yeah.
to invest in.
A lot of people would I hear say that, like, different jobs that I've held, and then I let them know what I do outside of just like coming in and clocking in. I'm like, yo, I do this, I got this going on, boom, 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 boom. And that's what I tell a lot of people, bro, get something on the side. Do something other than this. Like, get something on the side other than this. Because a lot of people, a lot of times when you leave that 9 to 5, you leave work, and I'm not saying even if you don't want to like branch off, like Paul was saying earlier, even if you don't want to branch off and like quit your job and start doing that full time, at least do that on the side so you can get those tax breaks, those benefits, or whatever, if you want to use it for that reason. But I say everyone should have something else that they're doing, whether it's big, small, indifferent. It doesn't matter. If you like doing it, find a way to monetize it to the best of your ability, because you're gonna put time there anyways. Like when you get,
Yes, sir.
even people that love movies, if you have a passion for film, you have a passion for, you just love binge watching shows, suggest things to people. You can blog about that. You can create content around reviewing movies that you like. Oh, I watched this and this. People, man, there's a market, there's an industry for any and everything that you like to do. You know?
Most definitely. And I'm looking up something right now. How much money does the podcast industry create per year?
That's a good question. I don't even know the answer to that question.
I got you. So the podcast industry has experienced significant growth in recent years, with its global annual revenue estimating between 3.94 billion and 4.95 billion in 2024.
What?
Amazing. That's outstanding. That's outstanding for real.
Dude, that's a lot
Right?
of freaking money, bro. And you know where that money comes
Yeah.
from? That's ad dollars, bro. That's marketing, man.
You know more
that's
than me about that.
you, dude. That's ad revenue, dude. That's companies paying for promotion. We
Yeah,
probably need to have a whole conversation about this, but marketing is life, bro. Marketing is life. Like
it
everything
is.
is about marketing, bro. I mean, you have tax money 1, 2, 3 behind you. That's marketing. People, you know, like everything that we do, what we see, what we experience, it's all marketing, bro. The marketing industry is huge. App industry is huge, and I want to be a part of it. So if you got something that you need to promote, or you need something that you need marketing, man, hit us up, dude. Hit us up because I definitely want to get in
Most
that, man.
definitely.
That's a huge industry, man. But dude, man, this is a dope conversation, man. Anything else you want to say, man, as we
Hey,
wrap this thing up, bro?
no, you know, it's that time.
Yeah,
Everyone's
man.
keeping me busy. Um, I'm here. I'm the nation's tax expert. Yeah. I love being able to help people reduce their tax liability, increase their
Yeah.
tax refunds. Give me a call. Hit me up on social media. Um, Also, speaking of the podcast industry, holla at
What's
my
up?
man Daniel Tatamy, right?
I thought you
And
was
we,
gonna say
yeah,
something about
and,
that.
and yeah, and we, yeah. If in the advertisements, if people need to advertise their business, um, we can do that for you too as well.
Oh yeah,
Especially here
man.
on our podcast, Beyond the Hustle.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. This was dope, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in for this podcast, man. Hit us up in the comment section, or send us a message, man. If you want to be a guest on the show, you got something that you want us to holler at. We love it, man. We love interacting with everybody, man. This is episode 17, Paul. We're gonna be right back here next week, Tuesday, same day, same time, 9:30 p.m. And we will see y'all there, man. Y'all have a good night.